Hey everyone, welcome back to another Tic Tac Taiko. Today I've got a drill that focuses on improvisation, and it's going to be improvisation on top of improvisation on top of improvisation. And I'm going to call it, wait for it, Improv, Improv, Improv. Yeah, I am proud of that. Anyways, the drill is not that difficult. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're looking at anywhere between a 3 to a 6. You will need a metronome or a metronome app, and I recommend using bachi over hands, but you can always use your hands if you want to or need to. The drill is broken down into 2 parts. Part 1 today is all about the hands-on, learning the foundation, going through the basics and mechanics. And then in part 2, I'll take the drill and I'll get a little more conceptual, and I want to talk about how to use the fundamentals learned in the drill to take your solo to a higher level. The drill is in 3 sections, but rather than explain the thing in great length and then do a demo, I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to do a short demo, a simple version of the drill. I'm going to include a lot of text to help you follow along, and then after the demo, we'll come back and I'll explain and point out some of the more important parts of the drill. So let's take a look and see how the drill goes. Hopefully the demo shows you the basic structure and the text helps you understand how the drill progresses. But let's talk really quickly about the 3 phases, what they're about, and where they lead. So we start, of course, with phase 1. Phase 1 is improvisation by construction. You're adding notes, or sometimes pairs or triads of notes. You're adding them at the end, in the beginning, in the middle. You can start with notes at the end. You can start with notes at the middle. You can take notes away, you can put notes in, you can make it sparse, you can make it dense, you can do whatever you want to create that pattern, as long as you're in tempo, and that's what the metronome is for. And this section is really about creating a piece of music, a pattern that sounds good, because once you're done, once you've decided this is my pattern, you're going to want to stay there for a while. Now the demo is pretty short. I made a pattern, I did every four notes, I added or subtracted, boom, 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 went on to phase 2. But in reality, stay in phase 1, because you're going to really want to internalize that pattern before you get to phase 3. In phase 2, we get improvisation through accentuation. This is where you've got your G, your pattern that you created, and you're going to add spice, you're going to add flavor, you're going to add riffs and fills. Imagine that there's somebody soloing on top of your G, and you're trying to give a little bit of extra, but you're not trying to distract from the soloist. You're not trying to take attention away from what they're doing. So you're adding a little bit here and there. How often you do it is up to you. Maybe changing the pattern every single time is a bit much, but maybe every 2 times, every 4 times, you'll figure out. This is where you kind of start to play, but not too much. And with phase 3, you have improvisation, plain and simple. But the idea is you have played your G enough times that it's in here, or it's way up here in the back of your head. You don't have to really think about it because you're still feeling it. It's still kind of residual. And whatever that G makes you play or makes you want to play is valid. The only rule is that essentially stay in tempo, which is again where the metronome comes in handy. And that's it. That's improv, 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 the drill. One interesting thing you can do with this drill is challenge yourself simply by being aware of your tendencies. Like let's say you always start phase 1 with a note on the 1. Well, what if you start phase 1 with notes at the end, on the 4 or somewhere between 4 and 1, and keep that note there and see how your brain, how your hands fills in the rest of the pattern. Or let's say you like to fill the pattern up, make it very dense, and most of the time you have a very dense G. So force yourself to do something sparse, and if you find it really hard to be sparse, make a dense G and then take notes out on subsequent repetition. So there's a lot of ways you can challenge yourself in a no pressure environment. You have complete control. There's no audience, there's no members, there's no directors, no one's watching you, no one's listening. This is for you to explore and to understand 3 different types of improv at your own pace. I know there are some of you who watch the demo, who listen to my explanation, and who are totally fine. You're probably soloing right now, having fun. But I also know from experience there are people who they understand the concept, but actually improvising, actually creating is not as easy as they want it to be. So I'm going to try a different approach. I'm going to look at those 3 phases, but instead of music, I'm going to do words. So let's look at phase 1. Phase 1 is making a sentence with 1 or 2 words added at a time. So let's start with I. Now let's add another word. Pizza. 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 I want a pizza. I want a pizza. I want a pizza. I want a small pizza. It's a good sentence. I want a small pizza. I want a small pizza. I want a small pizza. Cool. I'm happy with that sentence. I'm going to stay there. I could add more words to it, but there's no need. It's a good sentence. I want a small pizza. And I'm going to say that over and over and over and over and over until I'm not going to forget it later on. No problems remembering what I am saying. When I'm done, that's the end of stage 1. Stage 2 is when I start to add some of those extra words, like I want a small pizza, I want a small pizza, I want a small pizza now. I want a small pizza, I want a small pizza, I want a small pizza, I want a small pepperoni pizza. I want a small pizza. I want a small pepperoni pizza now. I want a small pizza. I want a small pizza. I really want a small pizza. I want a small pizza. You get the idea. I'm adding a word or 2 and then I'm coming back. I'm always coming back to that base G that I created in phase 1. Then you get to phase 3. In phase 3, you've been saying this phrase over and over and over, and so hopefully it will inform you as to what you want to say. You can say anything you want. Now you're having a monologue that is hopefully inspired by the sentence that you've created. And you talk as much as you want, and when you're done, that's it. And you can start back in phase 1 with a totally different sentence, or do whatever you want. But that's the gist of the drill. And hopefully that food analogy kind of maybe breaks some of those mental blocks, helps you look at it in a different way. This drill is really easy. It's only difficult if you make it difficult, but there's no reason why anybody can't do this drill. Now, I'm going to do one more demo. It's going to be more like a demo, or more like the way I would normally play this pattern. A little faster, probably a little more funky. It's going to be improv. I don't know what I'm going to make, but I want to show you just the kind of stuff that you can play doing this drill. So if you like this video, let me know with a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you are so inclined. If you had ideas where you could take this drill, or you did something interesting with this drill, or you simply want to tell me what you thought, let me know in the comments below. And of course, keep practicing and be well.